You're tuned into Inside Lowell. Inside Lowell podcast brought to you in part by Washington Savings Bank, serving the greater Lowell community for over 130 years. Make the switch now to Washington Savings Bank. Wellpoint. Unicare is now Wellpoint. New name, same commitment to Massachusetts. At Wellpoint, your whole health is their whole point. Boston North Company, offering a wide variety of business solutions to help restaurant and retail clients save money. Boston North. Mahoney Oil Company, providing warmth and protection to families in Greater Lowell and Southern New Hampshire since 1925. That's Mahoney Oil. Francis E. Preventia Insurance. For auto, home, business, and life, trust the agency Greater Lowell has counted on for more than 40 years. Francis E. Preventia Insurance. GoPuff. A grocery store right at your fingertips. Use the code Lowell20 to receive $20 off your first order of $21, plus free delivery. Download the GoPuff app or visit gopuff.com today. And by the Massachusetts Pirates, bringing all the hard-hitting action and excitement of arena football to the Tsonga Center in Lowell. Get your tickets today by visiting masspiratesfootball.com. And now, time for another Inside Lowell podcast. Inside Lowell. If Lowell is your home, this is your place. There we go. Oh, it's only been like a week, but geez, I got to get my buttons straight. Hi, everyone. I'm Danielle McFadden. Welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm the president of the Chamber. I'm so excited to be here with you today in the Inside Lowell podcast Wellpoint studios. Unicare is now Wellpoint. New name, same commitment to Massachusetts. At Wellpoint, your whole health is their whole point. And I'm excited to have Chris Porter here today.
I'm excited too.
The Town and the City Festival is this weekend, so
Yes.
you're here to talk about it. I feel like it was just yesterday that you were here talking about it last year.
I know. Time flies, and we're on the 5th edition of the Town and the City
is
Festival.
incredible.
That's blowing my mind. I didn't know I'd get past one or two for
did.
a while, and we did, and it's becoming sort of more of a staple here in Lowell, which is
Yes,
awesome to
it's
see. I'm very
incredible.
proud of it and very grateful too.
So why don't we talk just quickly about the history of the festival, when it started,
Sure.
and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. It started in 2018 was the first year, and came out of an idea of some discussions with some local leaders and my experience in festivals for many years, and trying to think of, okay, well, how can I apply what I've worked on to my old hometown? And so a number of other small cities like Lowell, I'd see, like in Boise, Idaho, Knoxville, Tennessee, and I can point to others where they have what I call venue hopping experiences.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, Lowell's a pretty walkable town, and and obviously, there's some venues or places you can make into venues, all in walking distance or a short drive away. So maybe this format could work in Lowell. Let me try to figure that out. And so we, the discussion started actually way back in like 2015, but 2018 is when we launched it. Showed it can work. It was a very hard task, getting that thing born, but it worked out. And I'm like, okay, maybe onto something here. Let's try it another year and see. And then the next year, and saw some growth and a little more interest. Okay, let's keep it going. Ran into the pandemic, of course, and then also around that time we were wondering, because originally, you may remember, it was a fall festival. It was like late
I do
October,
remember.
and
Like right around the Kerouac.
sort of. It was a couple of
little
weeks after
yeah.
Lowell celebrates Kerouac, but before Halloween, and we thought, for a variety of reasons, my colleagues and I thought, well, should we do this on another week, or maybe we should do it in the spring? We were thinking, and then the pandemic kind of forced our hand, and we didn't want to cancel 2021 lineup outright. So we were like, okay, let's pivot and move it to April and see what happens. And that was our biggest year. That was great. I mean, I'm sure people really were longing for it because of after the pandemic, the worst of the pandemic was sort of over at that point. Plus, you're after winter too, and you're
Oh
ready to kind of
yeah.
go out and do things.
People are rearing to go in the spring for sure.
Absolutely. And we just got a lot of great feedback from a lot of people, attendees and performers like, oh, yeah, April works better. Because it's also before festival season really kicks off in late
You're
May.
kicking off festival season.
I guess you could say that, indeed. So hence we became a spring celebration of music and art. So in 2022 and 2023, it's been that way. And then this year, again, last weekend of April 26 and 27. Tomorrow. In the case of tomorrow
I can't
and
believe
Saturday.
This lineup. I mean,
thank you.
This is the rack card. We'll post more information.
Over 60 performers. Over 60 performers. Wow. Most of it's music, but we do have some literary programming, as we always do. We always give the nod to the Kerouacian history here in Lowell. Of course, the Town and the City Festival is named after Jack Kerouac's first book. So we'll always have some literary elements. We're bringing back a program called Earful that's happening on Friday, and then there's some storytelling and poetry happening at Luna Theater on Saturday, and then for the first time, Danielle, we're also bringing comedy.
Ooh, I love it.
So our friend Scott Plath at Cobblestones has been asking me for a number of years, when can we have Cobblestones be a venue? He really, really wanted it. And
he only asked you once, right? Not like twice or,
it's been a number of times. It's okay, Scott. I bumped into, and he's like, by the way, we do love Scott. And Scott was persistent in a very friendly way. Nothing, no problem.
He's a vision guy too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, interesting, we were talking about, my colleagues and I talking about bringing comedy somewhere along the line, and we're like, oh, this could work in Cobblestones. And I didn't realize this. Scott said, years ago we used to do some comedy here. Okay, well, boom, perfect. Stars are aligning here.
Yes.
So Mike McDonald is a well-known locally based comic, although he's nationally known, but he's headlining, and we have a few local comics opening up for him, and that's on Saturday night.
That's so cool. That's gonna be so fun.
Yeah,
that's a great venue too.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm looking at all the different venues. So, I mean, you are truly throughout all of downtown. You're at La Books, Gallery C, the Academic Arts Center, Zorba Music Hall. I mean, you name it, and it's here.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of it's in the, the Market Street area, and, there's one, and also nearby, the Cobblestones and Smokehouse Tavern. But we also re-added Christchurch United, which we used the first 2 years, but they were going through a lot of renovations. And that's just a beautiful, they set up a stage, and it's just for quiet music. It's really great, really ideal. So Robin Hitchcock, who's an internationally known performer who's been at the festival before, he had such a great time. He wanted to come back. And I was like, sure, Robin. So he's headlining there on Friday night, but so we brought them back. But yeah, it's about, I think, what do we've got? Probably about 9 things going on Friday, and about 15, 16 or so on Saturday. So, and then also I'll point out too, because when we started, it was only an evening event, but we have afternoon programming too. We have some free programming going on at Mill Number 5. There's a record vendor show happening out. So for those people who want to buy some records and memorabilia, we've got the Town and City Record Show that's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's technically the earliest thing that we've got. But then also there'll be some music.
Time for that after Friday night?
Oh, I may show up. Luckily, there are other people. Our good friend Dave Perry, who used to run Vinyl Destination, can run that for me. But I will pop in. Maybe not right at 10. Yeah, we got that going on, and then there's some free programming. There's going to be some free music going on right outside of Rude Awakening. So we do technically have one outdoor stage.
Yes.
And then also at Mill Number 5, 4th floor, there'll be some performers there on that little stage. It's right by the elevator there. So
excellent.
But then a lot of the things are ticketed, and as I say every year, being a venue hopping experience, I try to impress upon people to get a day pass.
Yes.
So that means that's essentially a wristband, and that gives, there you go, the show and tell. And
all my goodies here.
Absolutely. I got your goodies. And so we have one day, so we have a Friday pass or a Saturday pass, or even better, you get way more bang for your buck if you get one gets a 2-day pass. And that gives you admittance to all of the events, capacity allowing. If we're packed and we're full, we can't get you in, but technically you can get into anywhere that the capacity allows. and that just gives you a chance to see maybe some things you really want to see, but then also explore. I think so much the essence of festivals is exploring and discovering new music, new talent. Maybe find your new favorite band at a festival, and I know people have found acts that they really loved from the Town and the City Festival. I get a lot of notes after the festival, and I love that. That's so much of the essence of a festival, I think, is discovery. So that gives you an opportunity. However, there are some people like, no, I just want to see Ryan Montblow band, and I want to make sure I get in. You can, go online and purchase, individual show tickets. There's a limited amount for each show. Like we've got a lot sold for Robin Hitchcock and for Clap Your Hands, Say Yeah, and our first actually Cambodian rock band, Dengue Fever, who I can talk about in a second. A lot of people that's at Taffeta over on Western Ave Studios.
That's a great venue too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great venue, and we've got a great show going on there on Saturday. So shows like that are a little bit bigger names are selling well. But others, we have plenty of tickets available if people want to opt that way. But like I said, getting a day pass is the better way to go.
And I love that. So you have stuff at Taffeta, and there's also stuff at Navigation.
Yeah.
So you can go to Navigation, grab a beer, then go over to Taffeta.
Yeah, I wanted to try to, last year we thought, well, how do we, because Taffeta is sort of this island out here where it's a little off the beaten path from the rest of the festival. So we're like, how can we kind of engage it? And I'm close with one of the guys who's a manager at Navigation. So we just sort of set up, and that's more free programming.
Great.
Not everything is ticketed here. So there's some free programming there. Happening. We have some singer-songwriters, Troubadour Davis and Zachary Boudreau, and they'll be performing there kind of earlier, and then like you said, grab a beer, grab something from the food truck, and then when that's done, Taffeta starts up.
But I mean, all the logistics too. So not only do you have all these venues, all of these acts, but then you have 1 day passes, 2 day passes, individual tickets. Wow. You're like you're like the Superman of festivals.
How do I remember it all?
I don't know how you do.
I don't know.
My head's spinning thinking about it.
Mine does too. I'll have to admit at times, but at least I've had a lot of practice, so I guess I'm used to it now. But...
And we're gonna link. So we had you on the podcast last year, and you talked about all of your experiences and what led you here. So we're gonna link to that too, because you have just a really interesting bio and history.
Thank you. There are a lot of long stories, so check that out.
Yeah, definitely. So what else do we want to talk about? Anything?
Well, like I said, go to the townandthecityfestival.com for more information. I also highly, highly, highly recommend downloading our app. So we have a phone app.
How fun. This is a goodie I do not have. I will have to get it.
Yeah, download that. Here, maybe I can find the show and tell here. So a lot of festivals do this. This has actually kind of become a typical thing. And we started doing this a few years ago. And instead of we do print some cards because there are some technological Luddites out there. And I understand, believe me. So, but, everybody's about their apps. And here you can download the Town and the City Festival app and see, the whole lineup and everything. And it's like, oh, clap your hands, say yeah. What are they all about? And then you can listen to music, go to websites, kind of explore it, also see what the schedule is. From here, you can also buy tickets directly. You don't have to go on the website. And by the way, for those who are buying 2-day passes who have wristbands, our will call is the Lowell Memorial Auditorium. So that's open on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for pass pickup.
Awesome.
If people buy individual tickets for a show, they can just go to the show. Their names will be there. But anyway, getting back to the app. Yeah, so, it has all the information about each performer. It has the whole schedule here. And what's really cool is it has a whole schedule, but then you can do my schedule. You can put down, okay, at 7 o'clock, I want to go to Robin Hitchcock, and then at 10 o'clock, I might want to go to Air Traffic Controller, and you can make your own schedule this way. And so it's very, very interactive that way. There's also a map and general info, news about our sponsors, and like I said, you can get tickets from here too. It's just a real extra easy way to learn about the festival, stay in touch, and all that.
And you mentioned that there's a lot of discovery at festivals of, musical artists and comedians and literary, but also venues.
Yes.
You might, go to a place that you've never been before and want to come back.
Well, that's a great point, because I remember people telling me, particularly over the last 2 years, because we get a lot of people coming up from Boston or New Hampshire who don't come here.
Thank you for doing this in Lowell, by the way. I mean, that's so cool.
You're welcome. I'm glad to do it. I'm from Lowell. As people watch the earlier broadcast, I have my story. I was born and raised here, so I have a lot of love for Lowell, and I do want people to come here and experience it because I really do feel. I don't know, past 10 years or so, I've been really looking at Lowell in different eyes. I just really feel like the really great creative energy here now that I did a little bit before, but not so much, not as much as I do now. And I just know so many creatives have moved up here too because they priced out of the Boston area or wherever they were coming from, and it's a great community. So I like to show it off. And a lot of people who do come to Lowell and like to come to Lowell, they come for the Lowell Folk Festival, and, which is great, but that's all they see.
Yeah, it's one weekend.
And it's one weekend.
Yeah.
And so I had a number of people come up to me, oh, wow, this is great. I didn't know all this was going on. And, they go into Warp and Weft for the first time. It's kind of cozy pub and there's some cool music going on. And I get really great feedback on that. The other night, this wasn't part of Town and City, but I'm over at Thirsty First to watch some punk rock bands playing. I knew one of the guys playing, and it was a good crowd there. And a lot of people came up from Boston. They weren't living around Lowell, or they were newly moved to the Lowell area. One guy was like, "Oh," I'm like, "What are you doing here?" "Oh, we moved to Pelham." "Oh, okay. Well, then this is close." But it's bringing people in that I would have just seen in the Boston venues years ago, and it was a nice little scene over there. So we'll see that kind of thing over this weekend too, where people come in and like, "Oh, hey, here's another cool place to go," and obviously a lot of great restaurants in the area and all, and plenty of parking. I've had people ask me, well, where do I park? How many we got? 3, 4 parking garages?
On every corner there's a garage.
Absolutely. So, so it's very, very accessible, right? So, I'm glad when people from out of town just like have this look of like, oh, wow, this is a lot more interesting or a lot more happening here than I realized. This is great.
That's awesome. I always love that. Whenever I'm walking, to and from the office or walking someplace downtown and I see somebody that kind of doesn't look like they know walking, I'll stop and say, do you need anything? Or
do you need some help?
And give them kind of a little lowdown of Lowell because it's just such a great community.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Danielle.
I can't believe I got you the day before the festival at 9:30. You should be resting.
I know. I've got a lot to do the next batch of hours. Exactly. So much of it is, we put some of the when you put a festival together, you're booking it and getting it all scheduled. And then, arguably that's sort of that can be hard, but it can be kind of the fun thing. And then you'd let people know, hey, this is happening. But then your job from there on is I call nightmare prevention.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard of it put that way, but yes.
It kind of is, And so my production guy, I've got a great guy, his name's Reddy Tartow, oversees our production. He's doing a lot of nightmare prevention right now. And I'm just, my crew, my volunteer coordinator, Noel, and Michael Creamer, who does operations, and myself, we've got all these packets and things to kind of prep for each venue. And, there's just a lot going on, but a lot of moving parts, but everything's going well. And like you said, the weather's looking great. So that awesome. Helps. And, people are looking forward to it. We got a big party and we hope that people will come for a little bit or a lot of it, but come support local music, local regional music. Impress upon touring performers to want to come to Lowell. We've been doing that. I have a lot of people we've had in some past years that say, I'll come back to that.
That says a lot about a festival, right? If you have people that want to return.
Yeah. Well, Robin Hitchcock's a perfect example. Buffalo Tom, we had a couple of times. They were, among others. Yeah. So that is big, so it's, so come be a part of it, folks. Also, I'm going to mention one other thing about the discovery thing. Sometimes, you might discover something at the Town and City Festival that becomes a big deal later on. So we had last year a singer-songwriter, Peter Mulvey, and he was doing a collaboration with this duo called Sister Strings, who sort of Americana folk artists. Anyway, They've been backing up Brandy Carlisle, and
Wow.
they were on the Grammys this past
Oh my
year.
gosh.
And
How
they've also did a
cool.
big collaboration with someone else, and I'm forgetting at the moment. But and they have a new album out, and they're becoming kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And only about maybe 100 people saw them at Zorba Music Hall last year.
Wow.
So you saw something that's on the way up.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
we have a lot of people
incredible.
like that. You know, and Elisa Amador, who opened up for Rhett Miller at the Overlook last year, her star is definitely rising too. She's like touring all over the country and working on,
Wow.
they're opening up some big concerts. So you never know. That's the cool
Right.
thing. You see them early, see them in an intimate place, because so many of the places we have here are intimate places. I mean, the Taffet is the biggest one. I guess it's around 350, but everything else is, 200 and less pretty
Yeah.
much.
And taffeta still feels like an intimate setting.
Oh, overall, it is intimate.
Yeah,
They're all intimate,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
So,
great.
so this is a great opportunity to see something early on.
Awesome. So grab your friends,
Mhm.
grab a buddy, and check out the schedule. Download the app, and then it's just I can't even believe all the acts that are here. Thank you for doing this again. This
Well,
is awesome.
my pleasure.
And get some rest on
Oh,
Monday.
yeah. Yep.
Sunday.
Well, Sunday and Monday.
Sunday and
Absolutely.
Monday.
Absolutely. I am looking forward. I won't lie. I'm looking forward to that too, but we're mainly looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday night. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I'm going to congratulate you in advance because I know
Cheers.
it's going to be
Thank you.
an awesome success. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, Danielle.
And thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Chamber Chat here in the Wellpoint studios. And we will see you again soon.